On this part of your module, we're going to talk about how we are going to solve for x in an equation, or how do we find the value of x in a given equation. So we're trying to find the solution or the root of a given equation. Now this of course is not a new topic for you because you have learned this in your junior high school. Now if you're going to look at your notes, we have there steps which you can follow when you're trying to solve for x in an equation. It is called the Cram method. So for C, it is basically trying to remove the denominators of your fraction. And then R and A, we're going to try to simplify. And N, this is now what we're trying to do. We try to obtain the value of x. Let's start with our first example. We have here x plus 1 over 2x equals 10. The first step that we're going to do is we try to eliminate 2x on the left side of our equation. To do that, we have to multiply both sides by 2x. 2x is now considered the LCD since 10 naman doesn't have a denominator, or basically it has a denominator of 1. So if we multiply 2x times 1, we have 2x. And then we will have 2x times x plus 1 over 2x equals 10 times 2x. So we cancel 2x on this side of our equation. We will be left with x plus 1 equals 10 times 2x. We have 20x. Next, we transpose or apply the addition or subtraction property of equality. So x plus 1 minus 20x equals 0. So to eliminate 20x on this side of the equation, we subtracted 20x on both sides of our equations. Thus, we have this equation. Now, we combine similar terms. We have here x minus 20x plus 1 equals 0. X minus 20x, of course, that is negative 19x plus 1 equals 0. Now remember, we're trying to solve for x. So 1, we will transpose it, or again, apply the addition or subtraction property of equality. We will have negative 19x equals negative 1. And then we divide both sides by negative 19, so we eliminate negative 19 on this side of our equation. And then we cancel, of course. We will be left with x equals negative 1 over negative 19. Negative divided by negative, that is positive. The value of x will be 1 over 19. Now let's look at the second example. We have here 2 over x minus 3 over 2x equals 1 over 5. We follow again the Cram method to be able to solve for the value of x in this given equation. So let's have the first step. We're going to look for the least common denominator. To do that, we can multiply the denominators that we have here. We can do it 2 at a time. So we can have x times 2x. That will be 2x squared. So it is divisible. 2x squared is divisible by x. It is also divisible by 2x. The question is it divisible by 5? No. That's why it is not the LCD. How about x times 5? That is 5x, but it is not divisible by 2x. So it is not also the least common denominator. 2x times 5, we will have 10x. That is divisible by x. So that means the least common denominator here is 10x. So we multiply 10x to all of the terms in our equation. So we have 10x times 2 over x minus 10x times 3 over 2x equals 1 times 10x, that's 10x over 5. And then from here we simplify. 10x times 2 divided by x, we can cancel x. So we will have 10 times 2, we will be left with 20 minus 10x times 3 divided by 2x, we can cancel x again. And then 10 is divisible by 2. 10 divided by 2, that's 5. 5 times 3, we have 15 equals 10x over 5. 10 is divisible by 5. So that is 10 divided by 5, we have 2. So on this side of the equation, we will be left with 2x. Now we can solve for the value of x. 20 minus 15, that is 5 equals 2x. Now to get rid of the coefficient 2 here on the right side of our equation, we divide both sides of our equation by 2. So the value of x therefore is 5 over 2. Okay, let's proceed now to example 3. Now correction on your notes, that should be plus. So we have here x over x plus 2 plus 1 over x minus 2 equals x squared minus 4. So we follow again Cram method to be able to solve for the value of x. So to do that, we can either multiply 2 at a time the denominators of the terms that we have in our equation, or if that does not work, we multiply all of the denominators of the fractions to be able to obtain the least common denominator. So looking at this example, let's try to multiply x plus 2 and x minus 2 to find out the LCD. If we're going to do that, we will have x times x, that is x squared, and then x times negative 2, we have negative 2x, and then if we have positive 2 times x, we will have plus 2x, and then 2 times negative 2, that's negative 4. We simplify, we will have x squared, negative 2x plus 2 is 0 minus 4. So if you observe, that is the same with that. That means x squared minus 4 is the least common denominator of the example that we have here. Now we can start solving for x. So what we're going to do is, we're going to multiply the whole equation to x squared minus 4. Or, for easier solving, we multiply x plus 2 times x minus 2. So let's multiply. We have x times x plus 2 times x minus 2 over x plus 2 plus 1 times x plus 2 over x minus 2 over x minus 2 equals 8 times x plus 2 times x minus 2 over x squared minus 4. So let's start cancelling. We cancel x plus 2 over x plus 2, that's 1. X minus 2 over x minus 2, that's 1. And of course that. So we are left with x times x minus 2 plus 1 times x plus 2 equals 8. That's x times x minus 2 plus 1 times x plus 2 equals 8. Now we multiply x times x squared, x times negative 2, negative 2x plus 1 times x, 1 times 2 plus 2 equals 8. Now we combine similar terms. We will have x squared minus 2x plus negative 2x plus x is x. They have different signs, so that means we subtract, plus if we transpose 8 on this side of our equation, it will become negative 8. So 2 minus 8, we are going to have that's x, and that's negative 8 minus 6 equals 0. Now let's find out the value of x by factoring x squared minus x minus 6. So we have to determine, there I distributed x from x squared. Now let's find out what two numbers can we multiply will give us negative 6, and if we're going to subtract, the value will be negative 1, which is the coefficient of x here. So what numbers do we multiply to obtain 6? We have 2 and 3. We also have 6 and 1, which gives a difference of 1 if we're going to subtract. It is 3 and 2. Now, the next thing we're going to figure out is the sign. So if we have 3 and 2 there, what should be the sign of 3? What should be the sign of 2? So that the answer should be negative 1. Okay, so of course, since the answer is negative 1, that means the bigger number should be negative, and then the smaller number should be positive. If we multiply that, we're going to get negative 6. Now, let's equate both factors to 0. So we can have x minus 3 equals 0. That means the value of x is x equals positive 3. Next, x plus 2 equals 0. The value therefore is x equals negative 2. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we try to substitute the value of x in the original rational equation. So I forgot to mention that on the first two examples, but we have to do that to find out if we have extraneous roots or values that make the whole equation undefined. So if we substitute 3, what we're going to do is we simply substitute the values of x in our denominator. If that value makes the denominator 0, then that means it's not already part of the solution. So if we substitute 3 on all of the x in the denominators, it won't make your equation or the denominator of your equation 0. However, if we're going to substitute negative 2 here, negative 2 plus 2 will make the denominator here 0. Thus, this whole term will already become undefined. That means negative 2 is not part of the solution anymore.